All right, Coach. Let's start off basic thoughts. Tennessee Tech going into the season here. What do you think about the Golden Eagles and this upcoming year?
We're certainly very appreciative of our opportunity to be here in Cookeville. We love our opportunity, and we got a chance to continue the building process, to see where we are, to see how much we've improved, to help train and lead these young men into college basketball. It's always an exciting year or time of year, but more than anything else, we're excited about basketball season, the opportunity to continue to work with Mark Wilson and President Odom here on this campus, and we know we got a lot of work to do, but we're in a really good league, a lot of good coaches, a lot of good players, so it's coming.
Perfect, Coach. I see, Harry, you have a question. I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand up. So if you want to go ahead with Coach Palfrey, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep up. Appreciate the time, Coach. Good to see you. Hey, two questions. One is related to the NIL stuff. Are your players getting opportunities to sign some deals, do some things with some people in the community there? If so, how's that affecting just them, their time, team chemistry, those kinds of things? And you guys have been slowly building your team forward. It seems like your team's ready to kind of just take that next leap. Is that an accurate observation by me?
Yeah, Harry, I think so. With regards to trying to build our team, when we came here a couple of years ago, I feel really good about my relationship with Mark Wilson, the vision that he had for this program, how he wanted to go about doing it. And, I wanted to come in here and build something, to be a part of something. I was not interested in any quick fixes. Really wanted to build this thing on leadership, books, ball, and professionalism. And I wanted to come in with that first roster and give everybody a chance, the same way that Coach Bertino provided me that opportunity when we had a coaching change in Kentucky all those years ago. And I wanted to come in and earn those young men's trust and respect, and to see what they could and couldn't do. So now here we are, kind of moving into year 3. I guess in a lot of ways you could say it's still year 2 because of COVID. But nonetheless, we're in the middle of this process. We're still very, very excited about it. We've done a lot of heavy lifting. We understand there's going to be more of that going forward. But we're excited about our basketball season, about our team. I really get a lot of energy every single day going to practice, being around our coaches, being around our players. It's super, super enjoyable. So a lot of things have changed since we got here. For us, we have a roster now where I'm not the tallest guy on the team. That's always important. Guys, if a few guys get banged up or whatever, we can still have 5-on-5 in practice, which is always good for a coach. And I think that we're starting to establish a culture. Those first couple of years, these young men, we got 9 coming back who are now able to model behavior for what it's like to be here, what we expect. And that's one of the things I'm really proud of is the guys that are coming back, they see themselves getting better. They're setting standards of work, but they're also humble enough to say, you know what, Coach, we need some other guys to come in and help us move this thing forward a little bit. And they've really embraced the new guys. So this is no different than every basketball team in our league, maybe across the country, trying to figure out how good we can be versus the competition. But we're very excited about that. With regards to NIL, I think there has been some things. I don't think anything extravagant, maybe what some other leagues or players are having to deal with. I think one thing that I really like at this level, and obviously we try to collect as many good people as we can. We don't have a lot of sense of entitlement. These guys down here just go and work and appreciative of the opportunity to be here, appreciative of Tennessee Tech, the way our administration treats them, the way they're treated on campus, the opportunity to go to school. We're just excited about these young men. Like I said, there has been some of that, but for the most part, our compliance people handle that. And it's a lot of work for the student athlete. It's not just, they got to jump through some hoops to be able to accomplish some of those things. So everybody is probably going to learn along the way. There'll probably be some good moments with it, some bad moments with it. But it's like anything else. The more we learn about it, the better we'll get at helping each other.
Appreciate the time, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you, Harry.
Anybody else that has questions, just let me know down in the chat and I will call on you. Coach, I said a couple of things there I wanted to follow up on. Last year, the COVID year, things are just different. So things are more normal now this year. Let's talk about like not the weirdness or just how last year just wasn't what you're used to, and how this year probably maybe better from a team chemistry standpoint and doing things the way you're used to.
Well, I think, first and foremost, we're still having to deal with COVID. Make no mistake about that. But, we were able to have spring. Last spring was our first one we've had since we've been here. That's really critical. That's a big 5 weeks for the young men that were in our program for individual development with their basketball skills, for their physical development, for them personally. And then we actually had 8 weeks of summer. That's the first time we've had that since we've been here. So all those things, not only help the young men get better, it helps us build culture. It helps us to understand and establish habits how we want to live by on a daily basis, and then for them to get to know each other. I really think because we didn't get to have a spring, because we didn't get to have a summer, I think that made us more susceptible to injuries. Last year we kind of beat COVID. In terms of our team getting knocked out, we were able to play all our games, but we had 5 stress fractures in our program. We had 1 blown out shoulder. You'll never be able to really pinpoint what those things were, but I think sometimes when you're not able to train and then you get into really high intense college basketball games, that can provide some really stressful situations for your body.
And so to play off that question, your backcourt, probably one of the top backcourts in the OVC, the experience, and they've played together, but now they've had that spring, that summer you're talking about. And we're going to hear from Junior Clay here in just a bit. Can you talk about Keyshawn and Junior and just that experience that you all have?
Well, we've invested heavily in them. The last 2 years, those guys have been expected to do a lot. They've been coached really hard. They have been able to not only grow as players, but to grow as young men, to grow as leaders. All of us, we're either leading in a positive way or a negative way. That's just the way it is when you're on a basketball team. And when you have the ball in your hands as much as they do, they get a choice every single day. And we rely heavily on them, not so much for performance, but for leadership, for showing up, for modeling behavior. And we want a player-run program. So if somebody's not doing the right things, to get to them before I do. And that started to happen some. And I really like that. We got no bad guys on our team. Make no mistake about that. That's not what I'm saying. But we're all capable of stepping out of bounds every once in a while. And when your teammates are able to help you, to talk to you about how to do things, that's sometimes even more powerful than a coach. So we're proud of both of those guys. And we really, really want this to be something special, not only for them, because they have got, Junior 3 years, Keyshawn 2 years. Some of the guys on our team has got 2 years invested in this. But we want this to be something transformational, something really, really special for them this year. So we're all on edge. We're all taking this really, really seriously. And we understand that, even though we've done a lot of heavy lifting to this point in time, there's a lot of hard work still to do.
So tell us, and you mentioned some more depth and people in your roster. Tell us somebody's name we don't know already that people are going to hear about when the season gets going, because they're going to be one of the top players on your team or in the league.
Well, I think, the guys that are coming in are going to have a chance to contribute. But again, there's still an enormous learning curve for them to continue to grow in our culture, in our system, in our style of play. I think it's just going to come from the guys that are here. I really do. I always think that, it's the new guys are for the most part going to have a chance to come and contribute. Their ability to be consistent will what will really be challenging for them, because they just haven't had a chance to go through it as much as the returning veteran players. But we've already talked about Keyshawn Jr. Dane Quest is here. Amadou Celia is here. Biggie Goldman is here. Those guys, they have a really good understanding of what it's like to be here on a daily basis, what is expected. If you don't go to class or you're late, you don't practice. If you don't practice, it's really going to be hard to get the game. There's no compromising any of these things. The weight room is important. Being a leader in this community is important. Treating people with respect is important. Like, these things are just non-negotiables with us. And then we get to basketball. But that type of leadership is going to be critical. Yeah, we're excited about Mamadou Diarra. We're excited about John Petway. Isaiah Nelson-Ododa is going to be a tremendous player. He's a freshman. Daniel Ramsey. All these guys are going to have a chance to contribute a little bit or a lot, but we're going to have to really rely heavily on our veteran leadership.
Again, I know we have people listening. If anybody has questions, let me know down in the chat. We got about 6 minutes with Coach left. So 2 seasons in, what have you learned about the OVC and the other teams and how you sort of approach when you get the conference play?
Well, there's, I don't know if it's been a surprise or that I've learned it, but a lot of things that you might think have come to be truths, facts, right? Casey Alexander, tremendous coach. Belmont's awesome. Murray State there's a reason why they're always there from a tradition standpoint, and on around this league. There's really, really good coaches. There's really good players. And this is going to be a really unique year for all of us because there's a tremendous amount of players coming back to really good teams. And everyone understands that in college basketball, the older you are, the better you are. And if you can stay old, man, that's a really positive thing. And all of a sudden now levels don't matter. An older, experienced basketball team is going to compete well in your league. But when you step out of your league in some of these non-conference contests, that really translates. So we've got a really good league. And we've got some new coaches coming to our league. They're going to work hard. There are some really good spots. Really impressive last year what Morehead State was able to do, and the way they competed and ended up representing us really well in the NCAA tournament. So it's one of the things that makes it exciting to be a part of college basketball. We tell our guys all the time, this may be the most competitive environment that you will ever be in your life. And it's called college basketball. And this is a one-shot deal. We're not even, and COVID's made that real. We're not guaranteed anything but today and what's right in front of us. So today counts. And we need to make sure we're doing the best we can.
So you referenced earlier players in the transfer portal, and then you referenced there's some experience. How does that change for teams now in the future? If you have players like Junior who have stayed 3 or 4 years, who are one of the top players, how do you mix trying to get those players and build them with players from the transfer portal to build that roster?
I think we've been very fortunate at this level. The one thing that's been hurt is the high school player. If he had 5 or 6 offers coming out of high school normally because of COVID, because of the portal, those guys are only getting 1 or 2 opportunities right now to go someplace. And so we're able to I feel like, recruit and get some players in high school that you may not normally have an opportunity to get, because everybody wants a more experienced player, a guy who's been coached, a guy who's probably had his ego put in check. And there's just an enormous amount of people that go into the transfer portal every year. It's another recruiting cycle. Now you have the opportunity to transfer and not have to sit out. That's even going to make it even more advantageous for people who maybe didn't deal with transfers in the past because they had to sit out. So it is a little bit of a game changer, but I think, for us, we're able to kind of look at all of it, and we're going to do that. It's really not about the transfer portal. It's not about the high school player. It's really about who fits us, who's an OTG, who's our type of guy. There's still a tremendous appreciation, admiration for a guy like Junior Cray, who loyalty means something to him. His opportunity, that means something to him. That doesn't mean that anybody else who is looking for another opportunity someplace else, that doesn't make them bad or their opportunity bad. Everybody's got their own story. You're allowed to live this life how you want to, right? So, but I think it's just one other thing for when you're a leader of a program. You really are turning into a general manager, like in professional sports, of trying to manage and see what your team looks like. I think a couple things that stand out that are just completely different. Retention is a thing that is going to be very, very valuable to a program. When you can, like I said, get old and have players in your program for 2 or 3 years, it's going to be super, super valuable and appreciative. I think also on your campus, and people in your community who love and care about your program, you're going to have to understand there's going to be attrition. People are going to come and go. And that's just a real challenge for our sport right now in men's basketball.
Well, let's talk about your schedule then. So, and you referenced last year, I think you played all your non-conference games. You all were one of the ones that didn't have much impact in the non-conference season. You got home and home at Chattanooga. You got Lipscomb, Tennessee. So a lot of in-state opponents, UNC Asheville, regional. So your thoughts on those games before you get the conference play?
There's a lot of challenges there. Too hard. I don't know who the scheduling coach is, but I'm going to talk with him after this. You're scaring me here, Kyle. No, we always want to challenge ourselves in a non-conference. It's another opportunity to find out how good we are, where we need to improve, to prepare ourselves for our conference battles. There's so many teams and programs that are good, that are close to us, where, we don't have to, get on a plane and deal with all that. And because everything, through the air right now is just changing left and right. And you never know from 1 minute to next if there's going to be flights or not going someplace. So we're very fortunate from a location, geographic location wise. We've got a lot of opportunities. So, but yeah, we do want to challenge ourselves. There's some games on there that's certainly going to do that. And we're looking forward to having some of those good home games as well.
Anybody else? Last chance for a question for Coach Pelphrey before we transition to Junior Clay. All right, Coach, thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck this season to you and your team.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it. Thank you for all you do too.
Everybody, we're going to have Junior Clay sit down here just a sec. And Chris asked me a question in the chat, and to everybody, I have this in a Dropbox later today. So anybody that wants any of these recordings from today, we'll put it in there. It'll likely be after our last session, just the way the Zoom works. So it'll probably be around 3 o'clock Central Time when we get that in. So Junior, can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Everybody, we have guard Junior Clay now in his 4th season with the team. If you have questions for him, let me know down the chat and we'll call on you. But Junior, if you just start us off, just your general thoughts now, being a veteran on this team, just what you're looking forward to heading into this year.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to a lot, man. I'm just looking forward to getting out there and competing again, just having fun. Of course, I know we have a new team, so just getting out there and just having fun with them and seeing what their tendencies are and just competing with them. So that's really what I'm most looking forward to.
So Coach Pelphrey got asked and asked about you and Keyshawn in the backcourt, one of the most the top 1-2 duos. What's it been to play like with someone with him? And it seems like your skills complement each other really well.
Most definitely. I love playing with Key, man. He, like you just said, he compliments me really well. Like, he gets me in positions to where I can come off the ball, where I can play in space. So him bringing the ball up takes a lot off of me. It makes it to where I can get in my spots and just like I said, play in space. So him playing with him definitely is a benefit for me. We complement each other well. And I say he'll say the same about me. Just sometimes when he needs a break with someone hassling him on the ball, I can bring the ball up. So yeah, I think definitely us two together is something special.
I would describe you as a stat sheet stuffer. You do a little bit of everything. What do you think maybe, you score, you defend, what do you think maybe you do the best? And then a second part of that be, where have you made the biggest transition from when you came to Tennessee Tech to where are you now? Where have you made the most improvement?
I say the most improvement for me is just learning the game more and becoming a leader. Since Pel has been here, he just always put into me, be a leader and bring others with you. So I say my biggest transition isn't even on the court. Of course, I put in the work and transition there too, but I just say me as a person, just being a leader and trying to bring others with me and try to make the team as best as we can be. I say that's been my biggest transition.
Do you have a goal of like where you want to take your game over the rest of your career? Is there somewhere that you on the court that maybe that you can improve from where you are right now?
Yeah, for sure. I say just me shooting the ball, just continuing to shoot the ball. I say over the years that my my 3-point shot has definitely gotten better each year. Just my confidence in shooting it, stepping up and shooting the ball. I say that's probably the biggest transition.
Tell us about about the schedule you're going to face pre-conference, and Coach went over. So there's some really good regional teams you're going to play and in your area in Tennessee, Cincinnati, and just what that's done for you and in your years past, how those non-conference games help you get ready for the OVC stretch.
They build confidence, man. Those games are always fun, just going into them. But I look at them as opportunities just to go out there and have fun. Every time before the game, I tell them, even before the big games, even if it's an OVC game, a game like Tennessee, I just tell the team, don't miss the opportunity, man. Take advantage of it because it's fun. Like going out there, we don't play in front of crowds like that every night or talent like that every night. So I just tell the team to have fun with it and enjoy the opportunity.
And so I want to flip that to the second part. What have you learned about the OVC then in your 3 seasons prior? And then secondly, what do you expect this year in the OVC?
The OVC is really fun, man. I say the OVC is full of talent. It's full of people like myself who feel we should or we can go play with the people above us or on the levels above us. But the OVC is really competitive. It has a whole bunch of dogs in it, which makes it fun. So the OVC is really fun. But this upcoming season, I know it's a lot of talent. I know a lot of new dudes. Personally, I know a lot of people who have came into the conference. So I'm looking forward to competing against them for sure, seeing where we stack up against them.
Does it say something, all the people that got an extra year of eligibility because of COVID? So you might have some super seniors out there, some people. Does that lead to even more talent sticking around that you'll be competing against this year?
Yeah, for sure. I know a lot of teams have brought a lot of people back. I know Belmont, I've been playing against a lot of those guys since I've been here. It seems like I know Moorhead had a really good team last year. They put on for us. I know they're bringing a lot of their people back. And then we bringing a lot of our people back. So the advantages are there. The experience is there from all the teams. So we're just looking forward to going to compete, man.
Wow. Maybe I should ask you this earlier. What's the best thing about playing for Coach Pelphrey?
He puts a lot of confidence into you. He does. He instills a whole bunch of confidence into you. He lets you play. The game teaches the game. That's what he always tells us. So he's not just out there. He lets us play out of concepts. He's not telling us you have to take this shot or you can't take that shot. So especially for me, that being a point guard, that helps me a lot. Just knowing that he'll allow my mess ups, allow some turnovers, just me being aggressive. So I love playing for Coach. He puts a lot of confidence into us.
And he talked about, you all have a lot of returning players too, and some newcomers. Is the sky the limit? What's the goal for this year's team? What do you think you all can do?
I do think the sky's the limit. I'll say just player for player, piece by piece, this is the most talented team I've ever been a part of just from whenever I've started playing basketball. I'm excited about it. We're big. We're way bigger than we've ever been, just height-wise, body-wise. We got bodies and depth. We have a lot of different pieces, just from the players that are coming back and the players we've added. And the players we added, some of them are older. We only got one freshman in, so I think experience for us would be a big piece. You could just tell, just in practice in certain scenarios, that we have an older team now, which we've never really had here since I've been here. So,
and Coach, we asked Coach about you got a spring and you got a summer that you didn't get to have before. So how much difference does that make with the guys you've already played with, but you're getting that extra stuff that you've never had?
Yeah, that's a big piece. That's a big factor. It feels like, for me, I haven't had a spring and I don't know how long. After my freshman year, of course, our coach resigned and went somewhere else. So that spring was kind of cut short. Then the next spring was COVID. And then we finally got a spring this past spring. So I think that just helped us get organized. We went hard in the weight room. A lot of people got stronger, got bigger. So that's definitely an advantage for us that I feel like we took advantage of. We got in there, we worked hard every day. And then that flooded right into the summer, which we didn't get either, like you said, the past year. So that helped a lot. And we got 8 weeks, which we normally do 4 weeks. So we put in a lot of work this offseason for sure.
Anybody else? Last chance question for Junior. All right, Junior, thank you so much for your time this morning, and best of luck to you and your teammates this year.
Sir, appreciate you.